So the main event, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fight pit. Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle with special referee, former UFC great Daniel Cormier. And honestly, after the previous match, I was going to just say, f it, because I'd forgotten what the main event was, right? I was just going to turn it off. But I see the fight pit. I said, they won't be able to bring furniture into this cage. Certainly to God, maybe Cormier is going to have some involvement. Maybe we'll get something out of this, whatever, right? Man to man, and do some kind of thing to bring a former UFC champion into the deal. Well, Cormier they established early that he would get physical with each guy, pulling him off, telling him, hey, you're not here to fight me, you're here to fight him. Not taking any bullshit, right? That's exactly what they should have done. I hate how modern guys just go down and curl up in a ball and cover up, and guys on top just throw fake punches at their arms. Bobby Eaton hated guys that would cover up. He actually considered it a personal insult. If he's going to throw a punch, a kick, whatever at you, and you're flinching and you're covering up, it's going to make his shit look bad. It's not going to connect. It's not going to look good. It also means that you don't trust him. And Bobby never hurt anybody. And that's another way that you can get hurt. Covering up when a guy is going to drop something on you or throwing punches or whatever, and you're throwing your hands up. Guy's elbow drop drives your forearm into your fucking nose, breaks your own nose. Anyway. So, and apparently we found out eye gouging is legal in the fight pit. So, they had a cage match, and that would have been great. And it was good. This was the kind of the most wrestling match-like thing on a show all night. But if people hadn't seen 5 previous garbage matches, a cage match would have stood out more. And also no blood in any of these matches, including a cage match, which almost calls for it. So they want guys out there bashing each other over the head with chairs, throwing each other through furniture, whipping each other with belts and straps, all this other chaos, baseball bats, but no blood. No blood in an athletic contest between 2 guys hand to hand. Why, that would just be horrible. The work was fine in this. Seth Rollins is one of the best workers in the WWE. And this is Riddle's environment where he can do MMA influence shit, and that's his strong point if he has one. And then they went up and fought on the platform for a while. But again, they're up on the platform and the fans are singing the heels song. Oh, or what is that? How do they, what is Seth Rollins' tune? I'm the, but that's not it.
No, that's not it.
Well, it's something like that.
Anything with that. Wrestling fans love anything. They love that shit.
Well, then we find out that you can't be counted down, which is the only way to win this thing, is to be counted down to the count of 10 or submit. Can't be counted down on the platform, just in the ring. And so they get back down in the ring. Why do people think that the Territory Days wrestling matches were 15-minute long headlocks? And they think, like, oh, Cornette wants to go back where it was a 15-minute headlock. When there actually weren't. Maybe in a Johnny Valentine match when he was pissed at people. But they don't mind today when they do a big spot and then nothing happens for 3 solid minutes while they're setting up the next big spot. That's okay. But in the old days when they actually used holds for, part of the match, but it continued moving pretty much from beginning to end, that was boring. But one big thing, and then everybody lays around for 3 minutes and figures out how to put the furniture back together. That's not boring. So Riddle hits Senton. Riddle hits Seth with a senton off the platform, and both of them sold it for about 3 replays. And then after a long time, both of them get up, and Riddle jumps up and grabs a triangle on Rollins. But Rollins has him, and he picks him up and kind of buckle bombs him into the cage, but Riddle's hanging on, and then he power bombed him in the ring twice, but Riddle held on. And then after 10 seconds where they're just there immobile, Rollins taps, and you can barely even see the tap on camera. And that was it. The finish, all that they did all through this whole thing, and the finish was both out of nowhere and flat. And this is the ultimate example of nobody builds a finish to the big pop anymore. They just do it when they run out of shit to do.
I thought the other Fight Pit matches were better, and maybe part of that was, I know this sounds weird, I thought maybe it worked better in an empty room than it did with the fans there.
I think it does. Because they're tempted to do bigger things, which they have to sell longer, and then it just drags on for fucking ever. And also, I mean, let's face it, Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle, Thatcher, that was his gimmick too, is wrestling and joint manipulation and holds and etc. If this had been a regular wrestling cage match, Ric Flair versus fucking Magnum TA or whatever, that, you know, yeah, that's fine too with these two guys. But they try to mix up all of their metaphors, and it goes so long.